Part 1. Mom, are you ready? I say, as I walk out of my room. I'm going to my first party. It took a bit of convincing because I am only 16. I promised my mom that there wasn't going to be any alcohol, and I will check in with her. Yes, Lila, come on, she yells. I walk downstairs and see my mom with her purse and her getting her shoes on. I go to the bathroom and look in the mirror one more time. I am wearing a red short dress that is flowy. My mom and I went shopping a week ago and this is my first time wearing it. I put on some black heels that aren't very high, like an inch or two. I also curled my hair, put on lip gloss and mascara. I don't wear all that other makeup that girls cake on their faces. I don't need it anyways because I don't ever get acne and most of the time that is what the girls wear it for. I go to the front where my mom is standing waiting for me. When I reach her, her face lights up. You look beautiful, as always, she says as she is looking me up and down smiling. I couldn't help but smile too. Thanks, Mom, I say, still smiling. Can we go please? The party starts soon. I smile at her waiting for a response. She just nods and opens the door. We both walk out and I get into the passenger side texting my best friend. Her name is Nina. I text her telling her that I was on my way. She just sends an okay with a thumbs up. She usually would send more but the party is at her house so she is probably busy setting things up. She is kinda wealthy so her house is pretty big, but her parents are almost never home because they are busy doing whatever they do. My mom started backing out of the driveway and started driving to Nina's house. We live like 15 minutes away, which is probably another reason my mom let me go. Plus this was Nina throwing the party and my mother loves her. We have been friends since the first grade and we are going into 11th grade after this summer, so my mom trusts her enough. Finally, for what seems like forever, we made it to her house. I'm so excited I started thinking about who is going to be here, what we are going to do, and etc. Don't forget to check in, my mom says, snapping me out of my thoughts. I won't. Love you, I say. I love you too. Have fun, she says back. I got out and made my way to the door. I knocked and Nina answered. She smiled and invited me inside. I was half an hour early to help finish with setting up while she can finish getting ready. I set out all the drinks and the food. There was a lot. While admiring how much food there is, I hear the doorbell go off. I got it, I yell. "'Kay," Nina says. I opened the door and there was a crowd of people standing at the door. Some had drinks and some had food. I let them all inside and after I went to the music station and started blaring music. Everybody started dancing while a couple more people showed up. Finally Nina came out. She looked gorgeous. I walk up to her. "Dang girl, you look gorgeous." She just laughs then says thanks. We both join everybody on the dance floor and start dancing. Drinks kept splashing in the air and landing on the floor or on someone. After about an hour I started to get hot and need fresh air. "I'm going to go for a walk. I'll be back in a few minutes," I said to Nina. "Okay, be safe," she says. I borrowed one of Nina's jean jackets because it was a little cold out. I went to the door and stepped out for a moment, then I started walking. It's been about an hour since the party has started, so I decided to check in with my mom. I text her saying everything was good and she sends an okay with a heart. I put my phone in my pocket and I just walk. It has been about 5 minutes since I started walking. After about 10 minutes, I see a car. I thought they were just going to drive by. But then they put their brake lights on. My heart started racing a little bit, so I quickened up the pace. One of the doors opened from the car behind me, so I started running as fast as I could. I didn't help that I have these stupid heels on. All of a sudden I feel arms wrap around my waist. I start screaming for help, hoping someone would hear, but it was almost midnight, so a lot of people are probably sleeping and won't hear me. Part 2. As I am trying to fight off this person, I felt something get pushed against my head. I soon realized that it was a gun, and my heart dropped. I heard the man say, "You better shut up, love, or I will pull this trigger right now." I immediately shut up, not wanting to die, especially like this. This definitely isn't a cool way to die. He pulls out a cloth and places it over my mouth and nose. I've seen these in movies. It's a substance called chloroform. It makes a person pass out so they can kidnap them. I try as hard as I can to try not to breathe it in. "Don't be difficult, just breathe it in," the strange man says. I hold my breath and struggle as much as I could, but my body begs for air to fill my lungs, so I finally took in a breath. I hear the man say, "Good girl." Then the whole world went black. I woke up tied to a chair. I was tied with ropes, so I tried to break them, but they were so tight that they were making my bleed, so I stopped. I tried to move my feet, but they were also tied to the chair. but after a moment I seen that the chair was wooden. I thought about how I could break it. Oh, this is gonna hurt, I say to myself. I then get on my feet as best as I could, then jumped and threw myself back. When the chair hit the ground it broke and I was out of the chair. Dang, that hurt. I thought. I get the rope off my all the way. I then remembered that when I opened my eyes I seen a door in front of me. I go over to the door and try to open it. To my surprise it actually opened. I guess the kidnapper is stupid. I started to bolt out of the room, but then I looked around and had no idea where to go. It started getting hot, so I started to take off my jean jacket, but I felt something hard in it. OMG, it was my phone. That kidnapper forgot about my phone. I guess he really is stupid. I started to dial 911, but then I heard voices, so I quickly started running while hitting call on 911. There were 3 ways to go and it sounded like the voices were coming from the left. I started running straight until I found another 2 ways to go. I started running and took a right until I turned a corner it lead to and ran into a wall with a door. I was about to turn around until I heard voices. One of them said, "Find her, now." I heard footsteps, so I turned back around and ran through the door that I ran into. I looked down at my phone and my call failed. I redialed it, but I don't have any internet. It was so dark I tried to find a light switch, but I couldn't, so I pulled out my phone and turned on the flashlight. When I turned my flashlight on, I stopped dead in my tracks. There in front of me was a bunch of torture tools with a lab table in the middle of the room. So I wouldn't scream, I put my hand over my mouth. I quickly turned my phone on and dialed 911 again. I hit call and this time it went through. After about a minute of it ring, someone finally picked up. "Help, I've been kidnapped but I don't know where I am," I tell the dispatcher in a worried whispered voice. "Okay, can you tell me what your name is?" But before I could speak I felt a hand go around my mouth and I let out a muffled scream. Whoever it was grabbed my phone out of my hand and threw it against the wall, smashing it. I tried to scream, but the man holding me hit me so hard in the side of the head that I blacked out again. Before everything went black I thought about the 911 call and how they could have my location, but I thought a little bit more and realized that I wasn't on the call long enough for them to track me. Then I blacked out. When I woke up again I had the biggest headache. I went to put my hand to my head, but they held down by handcuffs. These hurt worse than the ropes, and I was in a metal chair. When I tried to wiggle out of them a voice told me, "You can't get out of them, so stop." I tried to see who it was but I couldn't because it was way too dark. Soon 5 guys stepped into the light. My eyes widened, but I can't let them know I'm scared. I told myself to stay relaxed and to stay strong. I looked at the men. They looked to be in their late 20s, maybe early 30s. One of them stepped forward and looked at me for a second, then smiled. "What's your name, doll?" he said. I shivered in disgust as he called me doll. I didn't say anything though. I just looked away, hoping they would just leave. "Fine, let us introduce ourselves first," then he says in a calm voice that kind of scares me. The one standing in front of me says, "My name is Jake. I am the leader and this is my gang." Making me look back at him. There are 4 men in the back and there is a moment of silence. Finally the one on the right says, "I'm Noah, I'm the fast one." Noah has pitch black hair and green eyes. The one next to him says, "I'm Liam, the adorable one." I rolled my eyes as he said that. He has dirty blonde hair and he has good fashion. "I'm Sam," another one says. He has curly brown hair, and he looks familiar. Wait, he's the one that kidnapped me. Finally the last one says, "I'm Lucas, and you are very pretty." I scoff at his comment. I noticed he has a tattoo on his arm and neck. He has black hair like Jake. I finally look back at Jake. He is sitting there staring at me. I shift in my seat, uncomfortable. Part 3. "So, are you ready to tell us your name, princess?" I just look down, not wanting to be here. I just want to go home. After a minute, Jake bends down and grabs me by the chin and I squeal as it surprised me. "You better answer me right now. What is your name?" "My name is Lila." I pull my chin out of his grip and he stands back up and crosses his arms. "How old are you?" I'm getting so angry. I have so many things I need to say to him. "Are you serious? Did you not do any background information, or did you just see me on the street and think, 'Oh, let's kidnap her, she looks good'?" The boys in the back stand there with their mouths open while Jake's face is getting red. "Your age, now?" I look at him a second, then a little smile appears on my face. "Do you want my real age or fake?" He stands there with a stupid expression that reads, "Are you serious?" "Real name, princess," he finally says. "Alright, well, you're not getting it still. It's not important, so no, you won't get it." I said that so confidently and I couldn't help but smile. He walks out of the room and I did a little victory dance in my head. But as soon as he comes back, I quit smiling and doing my victory dance. He has a gun and is pointing right at me. My heart starts racing again and I try so hard not to start crying. I try so hard to hold them back. I'm going to ask you one more time, what is your age, your real age? He says as he kinda shouts. Finally I tell them my age. I'm 16. I say quietly. None of them say anything for a few seconds, then the leader, Jake, tells them to untie me. I look at him confused, then the one they call Lucas starts walking towards me. I straighten up a bit and he bends down, then unlocks all the locks on the handcuffs. Where are we going? He doesn't answer, so I ask him again. Where are we going? He stares at me for a moment, so I look down. He finally answers and says, you are going to go shower, sweetheart. I just nod my head, but what the heck is up with these pet names? We walk up some stairs and down the hallway, then I remember the room I found early. I want to know what that room is, but I am debating if I should or not. I eagerly want to find out though, so I put on my big girl pants and ask. What was that room that I found early? It's none of your business, now shut up and follow me. Gee, someone didn't wake up on the right side of the bed. After walking for a couple minutes we walk into a room, it has stair leading up, I guess we were down in the basement. I look around and see the front door. I guess I must have been staring at it because Lucas tells me, don't even think about. He tightens the grip on my wrist and I wince in pain because they are cut open from the handcuffs and rope. I look around some more. I found a kitchen, a living room, and something in the living room caught my attention. There is a door that looks like it leads to a patio. I look back in front of me and we start walking up more stairs. I'll have to remember that for later. When we get upstairs there are doors on both sides of the hallway. There were 3 doors on each side of the walls. We go all the way to the back door on the left and he pushes me in. We are in a huge room. He leads me back to another door, he opens it and it's a bathroom. It was almost as big as the room. I guess they are rich too, like Nina. Ah, Miss Nina, I miss my family. I wonder if anybody knows I'm missing. I got pulled out of my thoughts when I got pushed into the bathroom and Lucas hands me clothes. I look at them, but wait, these are my clothes. Like not somebody else's clothes, my clothes from my house. How did they get them? When did they get them? I have so many questions. When you are done with the shower I want you to call me, and don't try to escape or else there will be a punishment. He walks out shutting the door. I slip off my clothes and jump in the shower. The water warmed up instantly, it felt so good but it was stinging my wrist. After I get done washing my hair and body I get out and put on my clothes and brush my hair. Then I clean up my makeup that's smeared under my eyes. After I'm done I open the bathroom door, and to my surprise nobody was in the room. Now's my chance to escape. I open the door. I guess they didn't learn to lock doors after my first attempt of getting out of here. Part 4. I open the door and start bolting down the hallway and down the stairs. When I reached the other rooms with doors I stopped and looked in the living room. Nobody was there, so I passed it tippy-toeing just in case somebody was in the kitchen. The kitchen is right next to the living, so I am guessing they would probably hear me. When I peeked my head through the doorway and didn't see anybody, I ran to the door. I flung it open and started running as fast as I could. I didn't look back, I just kept running. Then I heard someone yelling for me. Hey, come back. I heard them chasing after me. It made me run faster. I was so out of breath that I had to get running. It didn't help that I didn't know where I was going because there was a rocky driveway that seems to lead on forever, and then surrounding us is woods. Lila, you won't find your way back to anybody. We are in the middle of nowhere, baby girl. I heard Noah yelling while chasing me too. He sounded close, like he was right behind me. He was too close, so I dropped into a ball and luckily he tripped over me, which is what I was aiming for. When he tripped I hurry up and got up, then kicked him in the nuts. I seen that in a movie once and I am glad that it actually worked. He started grunting and rolling around on the ground. I started to run again and before I could get going faster I got tackled to the ground by Sam. I guess he was the second fastest, and by dropping light that gave him time to catch up. I tried to kick Sam off of me, but then he stood up and threw me over his shoulder. I got her. I'm guessing he is telling the others so they could stop running and looking for me. Let me go, put me down. I tried to punch his back and scream, but it was no use, he just kept holding on to me, so I gave up and just hung there on his shoulder. He was very muscular, so it wasn't hard for him to hold me, even though I'm only like 110 pounds. Once we got back to the house and everyone was inside, he put me down. I tried to back up from them, but I didn't know that Jake was behind me, so I backed up to him. He grabbed my arms tightly. He said, "We told you not to run. Why the hell did you run from us?" He turned me facing him, and since I was already shy in my normal life, this definitely wasn't helping. I just stood silent. He just stood there waiting for me to answer, until he pulled me to the living room. He put me on the couch and sat right next to me. I was scared of what he was going to do next, but then we just sat there for a moment. "I'm going to let this slide, but this is the only time because you are new and this is your first time being here. But if you ever try that again, then there will be consequences, and I don't forget that, princess." I just nod and look down. He then grabbed my chin harshly. "Look at me when I am talking to you." I couldn't help but look away again. He looked like he was getting more mad by that fact. Before Jake could say anything, Liam spoke up. "We have rules, Jake will explain them, and you have to follow them. All right, cutie?" He looks me dead in the eye, smiling at me. After staring at each other, I said something that even surprised me. "Why would I listen to you guys?" Suddenly I felt a palm connect to my cheek. I just got slapped. It was Lucas. Lucas slapped me. "You will do as you are told, otherwise you are going to be punished." I felt anger boil up inside of me. How dare they tell me what to do and kidnap me, then expect me to follow their rules like a dog? Anger just kept boiling, and next thing I know my fist is connecting with Lucas's cheek. I just punched Lucas and I was in complete shock about what just happened. I never even heard a fly, let alone punch somebody. All the boys go around him to see if he was alright. I see they are all distracted, so I look over to the patio door and it's locked. It's only a flip lock. I can tell it's a flip lock because my back door had one. I walk over to the patio door and push the lock up, but before getting out, Jake pushes my head into the glass door. The glass broke and now my head is bleeding. He starts carrying me back up the stairs. At least I know we aren't going to the basement. It is nasty in there. I seen bugs, well, where I could see at least, but still it's nasty and I do not like the basement. Part 5. As he is pulling me up the stairs, I put my hand to my head. I look back down at my hand and there is a lot of blood on it. I put my hand back to my head trying to stop the bleeding, but it wasn't working. As I was too distracted with my head, I didn't even realize that we were in the room where I took a shower in. I wonder what we were doing in here, but I didn't want to ask just in case he gets mad. He seems like he has anger issues. And I don't want to make him mad, well, at least at the moment. He puts me on the edge of the bed and comes back with peroxide and bandages. Before I ask him about it, he opens the bottle and pours it on my wound. I squeeze my hands together trying not to make a sound. After cleaning it, he wraps the bandage around my head, then we go back to the living room. "Princess, apologize to Lucas for punching him." I look at Jake confused, then I look at the group of boys, then back at Jake and give him a dirty look. No way in hell am I apologizing to him. He smacked me and kidnapped me, so no, I won't apologize. I said that as confidently as I could. That actually took a lot of courage to say, but they won't know that. Jake looks at me, then he also smacked me, just like Lucas did. Apologize to Lucas for punching him, now. He shouts at me. "Fine, I'm so sorry that my fist hurt your face." I look at Jake, he obviously knows I was being sarcastic. He doesn't seem satisfied, but that is the best he is getting an apology out of me. "Fine, you want to do this the hard way, let's do this the hard way." He looked at me with a smirk on his face. I just looked away and rolled my eyes. Man, I am really being sassy today. He did not like the fact that I rolled my eyes. He grabbed me by my hair and brought me to another room, one I'm not familiar with. Wait, I think it's his room. All the boys followed us into his room. He threw me on the bed, then told the boys to go get the tasers. Excuse me, did I hear that correctly? Did he say tasers? Liam and Sam went to go get the tasers while Jake, Noah, and Lucas stay with me. I move all the way to the back of the bed and I guess Lucas saw that because he yelled at me. "What the hell do you think you are doing?" He walked to the opposite end of the bed and grabbed me by my ankles and pulled me back down as I screeched. He then got on top of me to hold me down, with his hands pinning my arms and hands down and the rest of his body pinning my body down. I tried to wiggle out of his grip and I almost got it, but then Noah seen, so he helped pin down my arms too. Liam and Sam came back with tasers. "Start to sing her until I say stopped." Jake sat down in the chair next to the bed while the other boys started to sing me. I started screaming in pain, but Lucas covered my mouth while Noah still had my arms pinned. Getting tased hurts so bad because it's like volts shocking through you, then it starts to burn, and then it goes back to the shockwaves. After about 8 minutes they stopped. My whole body hurt, it even hurt to move. Lucas and Noah stopped holding me down and got off the bed to stand by the others. They all just stared at me while I am sitting there with hot tears streaming down my face. Part 6. They finally all left the room, leaving me on the bed. This time I heard keys jingle, then the sound of a lock. It was click. As much as it hurt to move, I went over to the door to see if they locked it, and they actually did this time. Damn it. I walk over to the bathroom because I guess getting tased over and over again makes you have to pee apparently. When I look at myself in the mirror, I have red marks all over. I kinda look gross, and usually I am confident about how I look. I go pee and then wash my hands. When I come out, all the boys are standing there staring at me. They kinda look mad, so without thinking, because sometimes when I get scared I don't think and I just do stuff. I ran back into the bathroom and locked the door. I heard all the footsteps come running up to the door. Lila, you better open this door right now. I could tell Jake said that because of his voice, and he is the one that talks to the most. No. What do you want? I said that, and I instantly regret it with the thing he said next. Lila, if you don't open this door in 5 seconds, I swear to God you will get an even worse punishment than the tasers. After he said that, I wanted to open the door but I couldn't move, I was so scared. So I just stood there in shock. 5. Oh no, let's hope he doesn't actually mean what he said. 4. No, I mumble under my breath as I keep hearing him count down. 3. Just leave me alone, I yelled that. I shouldn't yell, but too late now. 2. Do not make me get to 1. I didn't do anything, I couldn't move. 1. Alright, you left me no choice. He pulled out keys. He has keys to the bathroom. Honestly, he probably has keys to every room. Smart but bad for me. After the door unlocked, I ran over to it and tried to hold the doorknob in place so they couldn't open the door. Lila, stop holding the door, let us in right now. I still was holding the doorknob, but whoever was twisting the knob was too stronger because it started slowly twisting. So I let go and hurry up and ran in the bathtub/shower. When the door opened, everybody was angry. You could tell by their red tomato faces. Noah yells at when they get in the bathroom, "Come here." Instead of obeying, I didn't move, I just looked at them with wide eyes. Did you not hear me? Get the hell over here. I still didn't, so Sam came and grabbed me by the arm and started dragging me somewhere. I guess I didn't learn my lesson with the tasers. I hope they don't have anything worse than those. Or I might be in trouble. Part 7. He was dragging me across the hallway to another door. When he opened it, he tossed me inside, shut the door, and locked it. I couldn't see anything. I tried to see if there was a light switch anywhere, but I didn't have any luck. I started to feel around to see if I could feel anything that would give me a hint of where I am. Suddenly my hand hit a string. I pulled on the string and a light came on. I guess it was one of those lights. When I looked around, I saw that I was in a closest. Man, I'm not claustrophobic, but I'd rather not be in small spaces. Let's just hope that they come get me soon. I sit down, leaving the light on. I lean my back against the wall and close my eyes. Next thing, I started drifting to sleep. I woke up to someone shaking me. When I woke up, I thought being kidnapped was just a horrible dream, but it was not. When I seen who woke me up, I froze. It was Liam. Get up, come with me. I was still so tired, so instead of fighting back, I just stood up. We start walking down the stairs and he brought me to the living room. The group of boys were there and they were staring at me. I just rolled my eyes. This staring crap is really getting annoying, but I would never tell them that. Hey, knock it off with the eye rolling. Jake obviously said that. Why wouldn't he say anything? We need to talk to you about the rules. What are the rules? I asked them that loud enough so they could all hear, not like I am actually going to follow them though. I mumbled that one so they didn't hear it. Rule number 1. Don't try to escape. I already know I am going to be breaking that one a lot. It was pretty obvious that would be the first rule. Rule number 2. No attitude, that includes no backtalk and no more eye rolling. I wanted to roll my eyes again, but I stopped myself. That one would be pretty hard not to break because rolling my eyes is like a habit. Rule number 3. You will obey us. That one got my attention. Excuse me, I'm not your little pet. I say, snapping at them. They all look a little shocked. Probably because this whole time I haven't really yelled or backtalked that much. You will do as we say. He can say that, but I'm still not going to. That is it, Just 3 simple rules, you understand. Oh hell no, he did not just say that those were simple rules. No rules are simple when you were literally kidnapped by a group of guys. Sure, I say that with the most sarcastic tone. Enough with the sarcasm that goes with rule number 2. He says that a little loud and he looks angry. Whatever. I mumble under my breath. Let's just let him think I am going to follow them. Definitely not going to though. Part 8. Okay, come on. It's almost 10 p.m. You need to sleep for tomorrow. All the boys except Noah go to their rooms, and I obviously haven't gone yet. What is tomorrow? And wait a damn minute. It's almost 10 p.m., so I've been missing for a day or more. Yes. Nina must know I am missing. I can't help but smile, but it fades as soon as I get pulled out of my thoughts from Noah. What are you smiling about? He looks at me weirdly. I can't tell him the truth, but I also legit cannot lie. I am a horrible liar. Nothing? That just came out as a question. He is definitely gonna know I'm lying. Lila, you better tell me before I go get the other boys and we punish you for you lying and not telling us what you were thinking about. He looks serious, but I seriously cannot tell him, but I don't know how to lie. Seriously, I wasn't thinking of anything. That sounded better, but I can't tell if he bought it or not. Fine, let's just go. My face lit up a little when I finally lied to someone and they believed me. He probably didn't actually believe me, but I will like to just let myself think I was actually able to tell a lie. You are sleeping with Lucas. My face immediately drops when he says that. Excuse me, what? I look at him. I think he could tell I was not happy, but he didn't care. I said you are sleeping with Lucas, come on. Nope, no, nada. I am not sleeping with any of these guys. I'm 16 and they look 30. No, there is no way that I am sleeping with any of you guys. You guys look 30, that's disgusting, there is no way I am slee. Oh, he just slapped me where the other 2 slapped me. I'm going to have a bruise of hand marks on my face by the time I am out of here. Fine, but I swear to God if someone touches me, I will scream. I am not kidding, I will scream. I've done it before to my mom. It was on accident then though, I was sleeping and she scared me awake, but they don't need to know that. Whatever, just go to bed. I could tell he was tired, I was too, but I don't know how I feel about sleeping with that perv. Noah pushed me into Lucas's room and locked the door. I didn't see Lucas, so I'm guessing he is in the bathroom showering. I can tell because I hear the water running. I lay on the floor in the corner and soon drift off to sleep. I woke up in a bed with Lucas next to me. He only has pajama pants on, no shirt. I roll my eyes. I turn around and scoot to the very edge of the bed and go back to sleep. I wake up feeling someone yell my name and shaking me. It was Lucas. I seriously hate him. More than the others, I might add, well, besides Jake. Lila, get up, come on. Instead of getting up, I roll over to my other side. He huffs at what I did, then boom, I'm on the ground. This jerk just pushed me off the bed. What do you want? I say while grunting and pushing myself to my feet. Come on, I am taking you shopping. I froze in my tracks. This could be my time to escape. Yes. Okay. I start walking to the bathroom, still trying to wake up fully. I see my clothes on the bathroom counter. I slip my clothes off and turn on the water. I jumped in and washed everything. When I got out, I noticed the door was cracked open. Someone must have came in to grab something. But when I turned to grab my clothes, they were gone. I tried looking for them because they could have fell on the floor, but they were nowhere. I walk out of the bathroom to see different clothes on the bed, but nobody was in the room. Seriously? I say to myself, the clothes I have in my hands I do not want to wear in front of 5 men. Honestly, I would wear it out to public and stuff, but not in front of 5 perverts. I try to look for other clothes, but I can't find any. I grab the clothes and go back to the bathroom and put on the outfit. It was a long-sleeve crop top and skinny ripped jeans that go over my belly button. Then for the shoes, I just have tennis shoes. They are black with a gold Adidas sign on them. I like them, they were pretty cute. I still don't like the crop top though. Part 9. I go downstairs to see them all sitting in the living room. When I walk in, they all look at me. Dang, don't you look beautiful? Lucas has made that comment once before, but all I did was roll my eyes. Perverts. I say under my breath, but I guess Jake heard me say something. What did you just say? Uh-oh, I still can't lie. I said you guys are perverts. Jake got up and walked over to me. He put his hands on my waist where the crop top didn't cover. I try to push away, but he tightened his grip. He pulls me close and whispers in my ear that made me cringe. "You better behave at the mall, princess, otherwise we have another punishment ready for you. Also, we aren't perverts, well, most the time." He let me go and sat back down. I fixed my hair, then my shirt, trying to pull it down farther. I didn't say anything, I just sat there thinking. I have a tendency of spacing out and going into my thoughts. I started thinking about how I miss Nina and my family again, and wondering if anybody was searching for me. After a couple minutes of thinking, I zoned back in, and look at them. They all look like they are trying to see what I was thinking. Do you know what time it is? Gosh dang it, stupid stutter. The last time I knew it was 10 p.m., but now I have no idea what time it is. They have clocks in their rooms, but I didn't look at it this morning. It's 9 a.m. Liam turned on the TV and the first channel it was on was the news. The news was talking about me. They had my picture and everything. I couldn't help but smile, until the TV turned off. "You don't need to watch the news, Lucas, come on. I've decided that you and me are going to take Lila to the mall." I wanted to argue against Jake and Lucas taking me, since those are the two I hate the most, but I need to go to the mall, that way I can escape. "Come on, Lila," Jake says as he grabs my arm. He has a very tight grip, probably because he knows I will try to run as soon as the door to the house opens. When we get outside, we start going to the car. Lucas opens the door to the back seat and puts me in there. He shuts the door, then sits in the passenger seat. Jake must be driving then. I put on my seatbelt and we start driving to the mall. On our way there, Jake was explaining the rules to me about the mall, but I didn't listen. "Do you understand, Lila?" I wasn't even listening, so I wanted to say no, but then he would get angry and we can't have that. "Yes." A few minutes of driving went by and we got to the mall. When we parked, I tried to open my door, but it wouldn't open. I look at Jake as he is already looking at me. "It's on child safety lock." Seriously, welp, that plan of escaping failed. "Here, put these on." Lucas hands me a hat and sunglasses to disguise myself. They both got out, then Lucas opened my door. I got out and we start walking in the mall. "Where do you want to go first?" I thought for a moment, then said, "Victoria's Secret." We go there and I picked out about 7 pairs. I originally had 3, but they both told me to get more since they were going to be keeping me for a while. We went to 7 different stores after Victoria's Secret, and they were both holding the bags for me, which surprised me because since it's my stuff it would seem that I hold the bags, but I guess not. We head to a food court because we were all hungry, especially me since I don't even know the last time I ate. After eating, we all get up and start to leave. We reach the car and they open the trunk, putting my bags in there. There was a lot of them, but since they were distracted with that, I figured this is my time to escape. I looked for a way to run. They were almost done with the bags, so I just took off running. "Hey, you are in so much trouble when we get back." I didn't look behind me because I already knew that they were chasing me. I just had to keep running. Part 10. I made it to the road and there were a lot of cars. I start yelling for help, but the people in the cars didn't hear me. I don't know how they didn't see me, but I didn't have time to stop, so I kept running. I found an alleyway and sat down for a minute, but still alert. I just needed to breathe. A couple seconds of sitting there, I heard a familiar voice. "There she is, get her." I stood up and started running again. When I looked back, I only say Lucas chasing me. I wonder where Job am. I fell over and looked up to see what I ran into. I ran straight into Jake. He went around to block me off, and it worked because we collided so hard I fell, and he just stumbled backwards. He picks me up by the arms and takes me back to the car. No, I was so close to escaping. When we got in the car, they both started yelling at me. "Are you serious? We told you no trying to escape, no running." "But what did you do?" He looks at me, waiting for me to answer, but I just stayed silent. "I asked you a damn question. What did you do?" "I tried to escape. I mean, can you blame me? It's not like I wanted to be kidnapped." I shout at him and he just looks at me in the mirror. "Just wait for your punishment at home, you have 2 of them." I look at him confused. Why do I have 2 of them? Whatever, I don't care. When we got home, they brought me inside and left the bags in the car. "Noah, Liam, and Sam, go get the bags that are in the trunk," Jake says, tossing Liam the keys. They start walking to the door while we go upstairs. When we got upstairs, we made it to Jake's bedroom and there were cuffs connected to the bed, for my feet and hands. I tried to get out of both their grips, but I couldn't. They tossed me on the bed and I tried to get off, but I couldn't, they are too strong. They cuffed me to the bed and walked out. I wonder what they are going to do to me. They all come in and just stand there, they just stare, it's creepy. Finally Jake says something, we stalked you for a month, we know your way of thinking. Most of the time we know when you will try to escape, we were just hoping you wouldn't be stupid. They stalked me. What? I just sat there thinking as they all turn around making a circle, and talking for a minute. Oh my lord, they are taking forever. I try to get out of the chains but they just ended up making a noise gathering their attentions. Alright, your first punishment will be 15 minutes of the taser, and your second punishment will be a surprise. He has an evil smirk on his face, so I just look away from them. Go get the tasers and set up the next punishment. Noah comes back with 2 tasers, one for him and one for Jake, I'm guessing. After about 15 minutes the tasing finally stopped, I had hot tears streaming down my face, and my whole body ached. They took off the handcuffs and dragged me into the bathroom. The tub was filled with water and I can only guess what they are going to do. Jake pulls my hair back and before I could get a breath in he dunks my head under the water. I try to push my head out of the water, but he was holding me very tightly. My lungs burned for air and water started going down my throat. Before I blacked out he pulled me out of the water, I started coughing and then he dunked my head under again. This went on for about 5 minutes, by the time we were done my head was pounding, my lungs burned and my throat hurt like hell. Everything felt on fire? There, that should teach you a lesson. We go back to the bedroom and nobody is in here except Jake. The door was left wide open, so I thought fast and kicked Jake in the nuts. When he fell to the floor I started running, but Sam was in the living room, so I ran faster hoping he didn't see me, but he did and he started chasing me. When I tried to open the door it was locked, so I ran into the kitchen. The kitchen had a window, so as I was running I jumped through the window. Damn it. I hear Sam say. I started running into the woods. I heard them all looking for me, so I ran even faster. The top half of my body could barely keep up with my bottom half. I've been running for about 10 minutes and still I have no idea where I am or even how to get out of these woods. To take a break I climb up into a tree and lay there on a huge branch that can hold my weight. If I get caught this time, I might as well be considered dead. I eventually close my eyes and start drifting off. Part 11. When I wake up, I climb down making sure not to make any noise. I carefully start to run because it was still dark outside. I finally stop running when I see a road. I don't know which way to go, think. I don't want to be standing here long, so I take a left. I start running again, and then I see a car. Oh God, that could be them, but it could also be a person that can save me. Instead of being dumb like girls who get kidnapped and escape, then when they see a car they just wave their arms and end up getting kidnapped again, I go and hide in a ditch. The car is coming towards me, so I duck down farther making sure they can't see me. When they pass I start running again. After about an hour, I see a town. I start running even faster. I run to the first house I see and start banging on the door. When they open I start to beg them to let me in and help me. They let me inside and I feel so relieved. They noticed I am the missing girl from the news, so she called the police. I'm just sitting on the sofa, when I heard a car pull in. I stood up really fast thinking it was the guys. Oh, don't worry dear, it is just my husband getting home from work. I relax but look out the window just in case. But when I do, it looks like the guys. Oh God, how did they even find me? I start to panic and tell her that we have to go, but before I could even get a word out she was shot right in front of me. I scream so loud and turn around. There, the 5 guys are standing there while Jake is putting away his gun. Before I could even think of anything, I ran out the back door and run around to the front. I see the car they drove and got in it. Lucky they didn't turn it off, probably because they weren't staying long. I started driving, taking random turns. I have no idea. I don't even really know how to drive one, I have never drove one before. As I am driving I start looking around to see if there are any houses, but there isn't. I guess I drove out of the town. Well, I just need to find a police station, that way nobody else will die because of me. I come across a 4-way road, I don't know where to go. I'm taking a guess and start to go straight. Right as I was in the middle of the intersection, a car came out of nowhere and hit me. The car flipped to its side then upside down, good thing I put on my seat belt. I tried to get out but I was stuck. The seat belt wasn't budging. Where the heck did that car come from? I didn't see them, they didn't even have their headlights on, stupid. I look around to see if I could see where the other people are. The people that ran into me had a massive truck, it didn't even have a dent in it from the impact. Wait, that looks like the truck that old lady had that was trying to help me. Oh no. I try again with the seatbelt, but this time I struggle harder. As I am struggling with this stupid seatbelt, I hear two people get out of the truck. I tried seeing who it was but I couldn't, then they made it to my vehicle. They both chuckled. It was Jake and Noah who got out of the car. I try even harder with my seatbelt but it still doesn't budge. They both bend down at me, smirking. Ugh, I hate when they smirk. What do they have to be proud of? Literally nothing. I stop trying to get off my seatbelt and just sit there. Would you like some help with the seatbelt? Jake says, laughing. After they both stop laughing, they try to get my seatbelt to budge but neither one of them can get it. Jake pulls out a pocket knife and starts cutting the seatbelt. When the seatbelt breaks, I fall on my head. Ouch! I start to climb out of the window but I have to be careful because the glass broke and I could cut myself. They drag me to the truck where all 5 guys are. There are only 5 seats, so Noah and Jake throw me in the back on top of the other 3 guys. I try to get up, but all 3 of them hold me down. Great, this car ride would be so fun. Note my sarcasm. Part 12. When we arrive at home we all go inside. I didn't want to but I don't have a choice. Liam and Sam went into the kitchen and started cooking something. Lucas and Noah go into the living room. They turn on the TV. I want to watch TV but Jake is dragging me upstairs to his room. He threw me in the room while he stepped in. He locked the door behind him, probably a smart choice on his part. As he turned around I try to back away, but he grabs my wrist and turns us around so he is pinning me against the door. He pulls out his knife and places it on my throat. He pushes it with pressure but not enough to cut me. We are so close our noses almost touch. Try that again and you'll regret it. He lets go and walks to the bed. I just stood there in shock. Note to self, don't try to back away from him. Come here. No way. I just stand there as he is taking off his jacket and throwing it on the bed. I didn't move an inch because I was too scared, so I just stood there. Did you not hear me? I said come here, now. I slowly walk over and sit on the bed next to him. Good girl. He smiles. Ugh, I hate when he says that. It's like I'm his dog. I just look away, but I forgot he doesn't like, but I quickly remember when he grabs my thigh harshly. I try to push his hand away but it doesn't move. He squeezes my thigh so tight it felt like it was going to leave a bruise. You know, by now I would have killed you already, but we have all agreed that we don't want you to die, so instead we have come up with a punishment that will make you listen. I just look down trying to think of what it is. He takes out his phone and starts typing. When he stops typing he waits a minute. Then the boys all come into the room, go get the room ready and then text me when you are there. Lucas leaves the house. I wonder where he is going. I only know he left because he pulled out the car keys from his pocket and left the room. Sam, Noah, and Liam all go out of the room leaving me and Jake alone, again. He gets a text and then starts leading me to a room I have been in before. In the room was T. versus a lot of them, 3 of them turned on and it was showing Nina's house. She was home alone, but I wonder why they had cameras in Nina's house, and what are they doing right now? I get a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. This will not be good. Jake gets another text and smiles to himself. Watch this and if you look away there will be a worse consequence. He has a smirk on his face, but I watch the TV confused. Then I see it. Lucas is at Nina's house. Why is he there? My eyes widen as I keep watching. Lucas broke into Nina's house. I try to stand up but I get pushed back down in the chair. On the camera I see Nina start screaming when she sees Lucas. He runs at her and she starts running from him. She threw a flower pot at him, and it smashed on his head, yes. I watch with my heart racing to see what he is trying to do. When he grabs her, he pulled out his knife and slit her throat. I gasp and cover my mouth. I start trying to get out of the chair but Jake is holding me down, forcing me to watch her die. I start sobbing while hot tears are pouring down my face. Why did you kill her? She had nothing to do with this. I shout again. It's because you need to learn. I have noticed that you and Nina are like sisters and hang out all the time, so this will be your punishment and I hope you learned your lesson. I just sat there crying while Nina's breathing stopped. She was dead and just laying on the floor bleeding out. I cry even more watching her take her last breath. They all leave the room leaving me with the TV on. I sat here crying for about an hour crying, then I fell asleep. I couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. Part 13. I woke up to a bright light, it was sunlight and I was in a bed. I don't remember ever coming to this room, or even falling asleep. I got up and went to the bathroom. After I went pee I washed my hands and my face, then I brushed my hair. I came out of the bathroom and tried to open to the door but it was locked. Great. I remember what happened last night. I start crying and thinking about Nina's family, and how she died because of my actions. I had to distract myself so I don't have to keep thinking of her. It's too painful. I looked around to see if I could find anything to do. I found a bookcase with a lot of books in it. It had all sorts of different genres. I started reading this book I thought looked interesting. After about an hour of reading, somebody finally came into the room. It was Noah. He had a plate and on it was eggs and toast with a glass of orange juice. He gives me the tray, eat it. I just nod, and he walks out of the room. But instead of eating it I just let it sit next to me. I start looking around because I was bored and still was trying not to think of Nina. I look in the closest but instead of finding clothes I find a lot of pictures. They weren't just any pictures, they were pictures of me. They really did stalk me. I feel tears forming in my eyes, but I quickly whipped them away when I heard keys jingling. I shut the closest door as fast as I can and go back to my reading position. Jake came in and seen the tray of food next to me. But he didn't say anything, instead he just handed me clothes. Go take a shower then come downstairs to the living room. I nod and take the clothes. I go and take a shower then I get changed. When I am done I go downstairs. I walk in the living room and everybody is there talking, then they stop when I walk in. I just awkwardly stand there not knowing what to do. I think it is time I tell you. Oh no, last time someone said that to me scarred me for a very long time, and even now I sometimes think about it and it scares me. Flashback to when she was 5. Honey, I need to tell you something. My father said to me. Okay, what is it, Daddy? I ask. Well, I'm going to be joining the military and I won't get to see you for a long time, but I promise I will come back, okay? I promise. He says, hugging me, giving me one last goodbye kiss, then out the door he went. Flashback ends. I was only 5 and he never came back. He died trying to protect us, my mom, but mostly me. I still blame myself for what happened to him. I am nervous for what they have to say. Oh God. Well. Part 14. Well. Let's start off by saying we are extremely dangerous people. Okay, but like I already know that. We are also part of a mafia. Excuse me. What did he just say? I did not expect that. What? I ask him just in case I heard wrong. We are the strongest and scariest mafia there is. Do you know who we are? He asks, smirking. I can only guess they are the Red Knights. I hear about them all the time on news, but I didn't know they were so close to me. Even the cops don't go near them because if someone does one wrong thing they were never found and labeled as dead. There's no way. I whisper. I don't think they heard me because they look confused. Are you guys the Red Knights? I question. They all smile and nod their head yes. Great. I got so scared I couldn't even move. I learned my lesson last time about trying to run away. Every time I try, I fail. I start thinking about what they will do to me. Are they going to kill me? Will I be labeled as dead? Will people stop looking for me? More and more questions just kept going through my head. I started to hyperventilate. I was having a panic attack. Oh God, I used to get panic attacks all the time and usually they end up with me blacking out. I can't black out now that I am with the most feared and dangerous mafia group. I feel myself falling to the floor and blacking out. I woke up and I was in a different room. I sat up confused what happened until I remember my panic attack. Or more the reason why I had a panic attack. I got up and as soon as I did I fell. I looked at my foot and it had a rope tied around it to the bed. Great, now I can't even escape. I sit back on the bed and cuddle into a ball and start crying my eyes out. If I thought I was going to die before, I for sure am now. I'm never going to get out of here. The cops probably would stop trying once they found out the Red Knights took me. I have never cried so much before in my life. What is even going to happen to my life? Am I ever going to get back to my other life? Will things ever go back to normal? I sit there thinking deep in thought and crying. I didn't even notice the guys come in. They were just staring at me. They start coming towards me, which makes me break out of my thought. I try so hard to get the rope off my foot so I could try to get away from them. They get closer and I start freaking out even more. They get so close they could touch, and once they start to reach out their hands, I start swinging my fist and my one foot that wasn't tied down. I ended up punching Jake in the face. "Enough," Jake yelled. I instantly stopped moving and just stared at him with wide eyes. He was furious. I punched him in the face. "Cut the rope off her foot," he ordered one of the boys. As soon as Noah cut off the rope, I ran to the other side of the room into the corner. Probably not the best decision since they can now corner, but I feel oddly safe in this corner. Everyone just stared at me until Jake broke the silence, as he usually does. "It is time to eat, and if you don't eat this time, I will force the food down your throat." I just stood there not knowing what to do. "Do you understand?" Jake yelled. I quickly nodded my head. "Bring her down." Liam came up to me and dragged me downstairs. I was so scared this time I didn't try to fight back. Part 15. We all sat at the kitchen table. Noah served us all spaghetti. Everyone started eating and talking except for Lucas. Lucas just kind of ate and stared at me. I was just slowly eating until everyone was done. We all went to the living room. "Lila, go stand in the middle of the room," Noah ordered me. I was confused on why, but I went and stood in the middle. They all sat in a circle and started talking, but not loud enough to where I could hear them. They all finally stopped talking. They all sat on the couch and one of the side chairs. They stared at me until Lucas spoke. "Start stripping, but slowly." When I tell you my heart dropped, my heart literally dropped, and I felt like I was about puke. I shook my head furiously. No way am I doing that. They all just looked at each other and smiled. "Oh God, what are they going to do?" "You will either strip or we will give you a punishment, it's your choice." Obviously I just stood there. I'd rather die than strip in front of these perverts. "All right, you asked for this," Jake said as he came up to me. But before I could even back away, he threw me over his shoulder. They all followed us. We turned into a room, but I couldn't see anything because I was facing backwards towards the boys. Jake set me down, and as soon as he did, Liam and Lucas came and tied my hands above my head with rope. I was hanging from the ceiling. I was standing on my tiptoes, but it hurt too, so I kept falling down, hurting my wrist even more. After tying my hands, they all backed away and looked at me. Well, all of them did except for Jake. Jake went behind me, and I heard some stuff moving. All of a sudden I see something fly across the room right to Noah. It looked like a pair of scissors. Why do they need those, I thought. Noah came up to me and completely cut off my shirt, so now I was just in pants and a bra in front of 5 perverts. There is no way this is going to end good. After cutting my shirt off, he threw the scissors back behind me, I'm guessing to Jake. "Now Lila, this is your punishment and hopefully it will teach you to obey us." Jake smiles. He came back in front of me and he had something in his hand. It looked like a whip. My heart starts racing and my eyes widen. "We are going to hit you with this whip and I want you to count how many times I hit you. If you lose count, then we will start over, understand?" I didn't say anything, I just shook my head trying to get away. Obviously being stuck to the ceiling is not frickin' helpful. Crap, this is going to hurt like hell. Jake hands the whip to Sam. Sam goes behind me and hits me really hard with the whip. I didn't count though. If you don't start counting, then there will be a lot more hits than there are already. By the way, there is 10 for each of us. Sam says. My eyes widen. 10 for each person. That is literally 50 hits. Oh God, this is going to be a long night. Sam hits me again. This time I count. 1. He just laughs as I count. 2. Another hit, tears fell down my face. 3. And another hit. 4. Ow, this goes on for a while. Sam hit 10 on my back, well technically 11 since I didn't count the first one. Lucas hit me 10 times on the back of my legs. Noah hit me in the front of my thighs. Liam hit me on my shins. And right now Jake is hitting me on my stomach. 47, 48, 49, 50. Once I said 50, they left the room. Then he came back in after a half hour and cut the rope, making me fall to the ground. I couldn't even get up. I just lay on the ground. Sam and Lucas dragged me upstairs into the bathroom. They pour peroxide and alcohol on my wounds. It burned so much and I want to tell them to stop, but I don't have the energy to. I also know they have to get cleaned, otherwise they would get infected. Now Lila, what did you learn from this punishment? Lucas says. They both look at me in the mirror while bandaging my wounds. After a minute of thinking, I finally answer them. Listen to you guys, don't disobey any of you. They smile and finish bandaging my wounds. Now get some sleep. I didn't argue with that, I was so exhausted, as soon as I laid down I fell asleep. Part 16. I woke to the sunlight shining in my eyes. It wasn't that bright since the windows were tinted on the outside, that way people can't see what is happening inside. But it was still too bright for me. I have to pee, I thought to myself. I tried to get up but I couldn't move my body. I hurt so bad, my whole body is aching. At least I don't have to deal with the boys right now. At least I thought, I said that too soon. Get up, and come downstairs. Liam said, then walked back out. It took me a minute to get up, but I was finally able to get up, and before going downstairs I went pee. They can wait, my pee can't. When I went downstairs the boys were all sitting in the living. As soon as I walked in they all looked at me. I just stood there waiting for them to say something. But nobody said anything, they just stared at me, or more specific, my lady parts. I started getting uncomfortable until I felt something running down my leg. I looked down and see it was blood. I thought it was for a cut on my leg, from the whip, but I was wrong. I cannot believe I just got my frickin' period in front of 5 guys. And I doubt either of them have any tampons or pads. So, my face was as red as a tomato right now as they are just staring at me. I wasn't sure how I was supposed to ask for tampons or pads. I was about to ask but chickened out. Come on Lila, it's completely normal, don't be embarrassed. But I was still super embarrassed, even if I didn't like these people. I hate when people know I'm on my period. See, can you guys, get me tea tampons or pee pads? They all stood up and started running around the house. I wanted to laugh, but I would probably get punished. I'm guessing they don't know much about periods. Time skip? Earlier the guys went to the store to get me all the stuff I need. And since they came back I have been in my room. Well, technically it is Lucas's room. Dinner, Noah yelled throughout the house. I am not going to eat. I always get sick on my period, especially when I eat. A few moments later Jake came barging through the door. Come down and eat, now. He said, slightly angry. I'm not hungry. I said with an attitude. Oh God, I didn't mean for it to come out like that. I was about to apologize, but Jake started to coming at me. My eyes widened and I couldn't say anything. When he pulled me up by my hair, and dragged me downstairs still holding me by my hair. I was trying to pull my hair out of his hand, but he was way stronger than I was. My scalp was burning so bad when we reached the kitchen. Everyone's attention fell on us. Now sit up on the chair, and eat your damn dinner, he yelled in my face. I started eating the food in front of me. I seriously didn't want to, but I didn't have a choice. Everyone started eating their food too. Tonight we are having hamburgers with fries. This will be so fun later. After eating they forced me to sit in the living room. And they are slowly becoming more perverts. I'm sitting between Noah and Lucas and both of them have their hands on my thighs. Way too close to private area, it is making me super uncomfortable. All of a sudden my stomach starts turning and my mouth waters. I know that means I am about to barf. So I go to stand up but both Noah and Lucas stop me. Before I could even tell them to let me go, I puke all over the floor. Part 17. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to puke on your floor. I tried to get up, but my words got cut off as Jake stands up. Oh crap, I'm a dead person now. Who throws up on a mafia's floor? Crap, I hope he realizes that I tried to get up. Just get it cleaned up, then go lay down upstairs. Or in the bathroom so you don't make another mess. What? I have to clean this, that is so unfair. I tried to get up but they wouldn't let me, not to mention he was the one who made me eat earlier. I was so mad, I actually didn't even know I was yelling what I was thinking until I felt myself get tackled. Jake just tackled me. I tried to get out from under him, but then he pulls something out of his pocket, and points it at me. It was a frickin' gun. Great, I'm a dead girl. I squeeze my eyes shut and wait to die. But I don't die, he didn't shoot me. Next time you yell at me, you will get shot, but don't worry, you won't die. You will just want to do. I might even do a little torturing on you. How does that sound? I shake my head, gesture that does not sound good at all. Use your words. He whispers in my ear. Sorry, I won't yell at you again. I don't want to get shot or tortured. He smiles at my confession. Good girl, now clean this up and go upstairs. I just nod my head this time. And what he does next shocks me. All my movement, my breathing, even my heart feels like it stops. He is frickin' kissing me on the lips. I never kissed before, I don't even know how. Even if I didn't, I wouldn't want to kiss any of these boys. That is disgusting. I can't believe he just took my first kiss. He finally pulled away and looked at me. I had wide eyes and my face was completely red. Not from embarrassment though. It's from anger. I was so blinded by anger, I slapped him before I could stop myself. Now it was his turn for his face to be red from anger. I hurry and get up, but before I could, he grabbed my ankle and pulled me back down. Why the fuck did you just slap me? I didn't answer. So he slapped me. Well? Answer my question now. I looked over at the other boys and they had amused facial expressions on. I can't believe they are enjoying this. Well, why would you kiss me? I tried to sound confident. Keyword tried. It came out as more of a squeak. They all just laugh. Boys, it's time for that one punishment we were talking about. They all just smiled, got up, and left. Oh God, now what? What more could they possibly do to me? Jake grabbed me, and took to the same room with the cameras. The one where I watched Nina take her last breath. Oh God, what are they doing now? Why am I in here? I don't want to be in here again. I almost start crying, but I don't want to cry in front of any of the boys. Now, I thought last time we taught you a lesson. But apparently not, because you just keep disobeying us and making stupid decisions. This time you should learn. You must keep your eyes open. If you look away or close your eyes, I will tape your eyes open and force you to watch. Got it? I just shake my head yes. I already feel like crying. When Jake turns on the cameras, I start crying. I see my mom in the living crying, looking at a picture of me. And in the back I see Noah and Liam through the window. Oh my God. They are going to kill my mom. I turn around and look at Jake. Please, please don't kill my mom. I will do what you guys tell me to do. I won't be any trouble. But please, don't kill my mom. I beg while crying. I can't lose my mom. She is the only person I have left in my life. First it was my dad, then Nina. I can't let them kill my mom. I look back at Jake and see him texting the boys. My heart jumps, hoping that they won't kill my mom. All right, Lila, we won't kill your mom, but you have to prove that you will do what we tell you to do. He says while laughing at the end. Oh no, what is he going to make me do? I'll still do it though, because I can't let my mom die. What do I have to do? I say with a quivery voice. He just smirks and thinks for a minute. Part 18. I want you to strip like you were supposed to the other day. He says with a mischievous smile. I look at him and nod my head. I mean, they already seen me in my bra, and I guess since I'm wearing underwear it's like a bathing suit. Okay, I can do this. I slowly reach for my shirt and look back at Jake. He is recording me, probably sending it to the guys. I start to slip off my shirt, but get stopped. Go slower, Jake demanded. I shake my head and continue. Finally my shirt is off, and the only thing left is my pants. My tears still haven't dried. It doesn't help that I have been crying the whole time I was taking off my shirt. I slowly reach for the button of my pants, but hesitate. I look back at Jake and he just points to the screen showing my mom. I know what he means. He means if I don't do it, my mom will die. That gives me enough motivation to unbutton my pants. I slowly pull down the zipper, then my pants. I put my clothes in a pile and stand up, crossing my arms over my stomach, trying to cover as much as I could. Jake smiles and comes closer to me. I try to back away, but I hit the door and can't go anywhere. He keeps coming closer to me until he is right in front of me. He reaches his hand out, tracing my stomach, and I start crying more. Then he traces his hand up to my bra and starts fiddling with it. I squeeze my eyes shut, just hoping this will end soon. You are so beautiful, you know that. He whispers in my ear, which somewhat scared me because I didn't know he moved closer to my ear. He pulls his hand back after a minute, then sends the video to the guys. I'm guessing he is telling them to leave my mom alone, hopefully. I mean, I did everything he asked me to. I stare at the TV watching as the guys leave and my mom stays unharmed. I let out a breath of relief. I look over at Jake and see him staring at me. I forgot for a moment I was just in my bra and underwear. I am starting to get cold. Go take a shower, then come back down to the living room. He says, then leaves me in the room. I head up to the room I have been staying in and go into the bathroom. Jake already put clothes out for me, so I just strip off the rest of what I have on and step into the shower. The hot water feels so good on my skin, not to mention I am still on my period and my cramps have been so bad. I wash my hair and body, then get out of the shower. I get dressed, brush my hair and teeth. Do everything I need to do, then go to the living. By now all the guys are back, and they all took up the couch and the chair. "Come here," Lucas says, patting his lap. I went to shake my head no, but they all gave me that one look. The look that says, "Do it or we'll kill your mom." So I slowly walk over, sit on his lap. He puts his hand on my thigh like the other two did when I was sitting next to them. Still a little too close to down there. We are all watching murder documents. All the guys are smiling and laughing while I, on the other hand, am completely grossed out. During one episode, Lucas' hand starts getting higher and higher until he is right below my lady part. He leans in and whispers in my ear, "You looked so good when you were stripping. I mean, you always look good, but seeing what is under those clothes, you are so beautiful." I start to squirm to get his hand away from there, but it's no use, I can't get him to move. The whole time he keeps it like that, but doesn't move it any higher. Which I am very thankful for. We are all really tired and are going to bed now. I sadly still have to sleep with Lucas. I am really hoping he doesn't try to touch me like earlier. We both lay down, and after a few minutes I feel Lucas throw his arm around my waist and pull me into him. But I didn't say anything because I was too tired and fell asleep. Part 19. I open my eyes and look around. I'm somehow on the ground outside. I look up and see my house. I'm home, I think to myself. I run inside my house. "Mom. It's Lila, I'm home." I yell, but I didn't get a reply. I run around the house trying to find her. I first run to her room, I didn't find her there. Next my bedroom, not there. Next the kitchen, again not there. I look in 3 different rooms and she was in none of them. Maybe she is in the living room. "Mom?" I yell, walking into the living. I look around and find her laying on the ground between the table and the couch. Mom. I run over to her. She has a stab wound, and 2 gunshot wounds. 1 in her head and 2 in her stomach. I start bawling my eyes. "Oh God, no. Mom, please wake up. Please." I say, shaking and hugging her, but she isn't responding. I go to grab my phone, but I can't find it. I check my pockets, then look at the table. But when I look at the table, I see feet under it. I look up and see Jake along with the other 4 standing there. Liam holding my phone, shaking it, like he is taunting me. "Now, do you see what happens when you don't do as you are told?" Jake says with a sinister smirk. I start crying even more and look at my mom. I look right into her eyes, the eyes that once shined when she talks about something she loves, the eyes that held emotion, the eyes that held joy, sadness, anger. Now they are just lifeless and dull. My sadness starts to turn into anger. I did what they told me to do. I didn't argue after they threatened her. But yet, they still killed her. The only person in my life that could ever make me happy again. I stand up, my blood boiling. I slowly turn around and stare at the boys who are still smirking. I grab my dad's old hockey stick and start to charge at them. I start hitting them with it, while yelling, "You guys ruined my life. Why would you do this to me? I hate you. I wish you all were dead." I keep hitting them with the hockey stick. Then all of a sudden I heard a loud bang. I stop what I was doing and drop the hockey stick. I look at my stomach and see a whole bunch of blood. I drop to the floor holding my stomach. I look up and the boys are huddled around me. They are all staring at me. "I guess we will have to get a new one," Sam says. Then blackness. I wake up to some shaking me and calling my name. I open my eyes and see I'm back in the bed I fell asleep in last night. I look over to see who was shaking me, and it was Jake. I look around and all the guys are staring at me with wide eyes. I feel something wet on my face. I wipe my face and realize I was crying. My mom. I start crying again. I then jump on Jake and start hitting him. All the guys are trying to pull me off of him, but it isn't working. "Why did you kill my mom? Why would you do that?" "I did everything you asked me to do," I say while crying and hitting him. The guys are all yelling something, but I don't hear what they are saying. I am all of a sudden flipped on my back. I still struggle against Jake's hold, trying to get out. "Why did you kill her?" I ask, still bawling my eyes out. "What the hell are you talking about?" Jake says. I look at him in disbelief through my tears. You killed my mother. I woke up on the street in front of my house, and when I went inside, my mother was dead on the living room floor. I turned around and you guys were behind me saying that's what I get when I don't obey you, and then shot me saying you would just get another girl. I have been listening to all of you since you threatened her, so why would you kill her? I yell crying. Lila. Jake says, but I start to struggle against his hold. Lila. Jake yells, but I don't listen to him, I still struggle. Lila, stop struggling and listen. I stop struggling and look at him. Only because he can still hurt me, and I am not stronger than him, so it's useless to struggle. Lila. We didn't kill your mom is fine. You just had a dream, that's why when you woke up I was shaking you awake. You were having a nightmare, it wasn't real. I just look at him. There is no way he is telling the truth, it felt too real. I start shaking my head and crying again, no, you are lying. I look at all of them. Let's go. Jake says, pulling me up. He walks us all into the room filled with TV, then he turned it on and my house popped up. A certain camera caught my attention, it was my mom sitting in my room. Playing with my stuff and sitting on my bed. She looked sad, but she was alive. I looked closer just to see that they weren't lying, my mom was still alive. I touched the screen as if it would be the same as touching her in person. I pull my hand back and turn around. All the boys were staring at me to see my reaction. I awkwardly laugh, I guess it was a nightmare. Sorry I jumped on you and screamed at you. I trailed off not knowing what to say. Then they all started laughing at me. They are seriously laughing at me? Whatever. Part 20. What time is it? I finally asked because of the awkward silence after the boys stopped laughing. It's 5 a.m. Liam says. I just nod my head. Eventually we all agree to go back to bed, but after a couple minutes of Lucas snoring and me not being able to fall back asleep, I think now would be a good time to at least try to the doors to escape. I can't forget they kidnapped me, even if they didn't kill my mom. They still threatened her. I go over to the door, but of course it's locked. I look over at the window and shrug. It's a seat window, I know the windows won't break, so I'm not even going to try. I'll just sit in the window and look out at the moon for now. Before I know it's 8 a.m. and everybody is up. Today most of them have things to do, besides Sam. I guess that means I have to spend the day with Sam, it could be worse. It could have been Jake or Lucas, so I'll take what's best. I rather escape, but we all know that won't happen soon. I go downstairs since everyone already left, and sit on the couch watching TV, but then I get an idea. I go upstairs and check to see what Sam is doing. Of course when I look he is playing video games, and he has headphones in. Perfect. I go back downstairs and go over to the patio door. Since it is only a flick lock, I easily unlock it and I run outside. I look around and realize that we are surrounded by woods, I forgot about that. I start running on the edge of the woods instead of the driveway, just in case one of the boys come home. I run all the way until I reach the road again. I turn the opposite direction I did last time and start bolting. Still staying on the edge of the woods, and since it's light outside I can see who is in the cars. After about half an hour I see a car, I duck down until I realize it isn't any of the boys. It's a middle-aged lady. I pop out of the ditch and run at her, flailing my arms to grab her attention. Lucky I do, she gets out and asks, are you okay? Wait, you're that missing girl, oh goodness. Get in, hurry, let's get you to the police station. I happily get into her car. We finally reach the police station and both of us go in. As soon as we do, they immediately notice who I am. A bunch of police officers surround us. We were about to go to the back for question when we all hear a gun go off. We all duck and look behind us. When I look behind me I seen Sam with the gun. How did he know where we are? I could have literally been anywhere. Give me back the girl and none of you will die. He says with a smirk. He knows the police don't get in the middle of the Red Knight's business. The police officer holding me pushed right into his arms and I scoff. Wow, I can rely so much on the police, I say in my head, rolling my eyes. Sorry for the troubles. Sam says, picking me up, carrying me to his car. Seriously, that was bullshit. Now I know I can't go to the police next time I escape. Sam just chuckles, oh love, next time you aren't escaping, and even if you do we will find you every time. He says, still laughing. And why would you keep finding me? I said with a snarky attitude. He looks at me with an eyebrow raised and I know to drop the attitude. Well, that's because we put a tracking device in you, love. I gasp, and started to choke on my spit from it. Why would they do that? I mean, I know why, and it's pretty smart, but still what? Alright, love, let's go home and get to your punishment. But don't worry, this will be just between us two. He with a wink. My breath hitched in my throat trying to think about all the possibilities he was going to do to me. Part 21. This chapter contains mature content, and also trigger warning. I'm so nervous to get back to the house. I really don't want to be there anymore. I hope one of the guys are back so he won't do anything to bad. When we pull into the drive, I can feel my heart in my throat. Sam parks the car and drags me inside with him. He drags me all the way upstairs into his room. I know it is his room, but I haven't ever actually been in it. He picks me up and throws me on the bed. Before I even have a chance to get up, he handcuffs my hands. Great, what is going to happen now? He leaves the room for a second, so I try to get out of the handcuffs. That did not help me at all. He comes back in, has an evil smirk on his face. He starts to take off his shirt, so now he is only in his shorts. He comes over to me and crawls on top of me. He leans down and whispers in my ear. You know, the only reason you aren't dead yet is because we all love you. We didn't just see you on the street and think, let's kidnap that girl. No, we have been stalking you and waiting for the right time because we all love you and want to share you. He says, then he leans back smiling and biting his lip. What the frick did he just say? All the people in this house love me. Yet you all torture me and kidnap me. You all killed my best friend and threatened to kill my mom if I didn't listen. Why would that think that would make me like any of you guys? All of you are monsters, and I hate all of you. I heard a bag drop behind Sam, and all 4 boys are behind him. Standing with shocked expressions, but they also look hurt. Why do they get to look hurt, and why would they be shocked? After all the things they did to me, what they think that would make me like any of them? They are completely wrong. Everybody just stared at each other for a while until Sam got off of me and started talking to the boys, in their dumb circle they do. Meanwhile, I'm stick handcuffed to the bed. They all turn around and have some angry expressions. I'm guessing that means Sam told them what happened. You know, instead of killing someone you love, let's do something we all have been wanting to do for a long time. One of them says, and they all look at each other grinning and nodding. All of them started to come towards me and I tried to back away as much as possible. Sam got back on top of me and ripped off my shirt. Literally ripped it off like it was a piece of paper. He started tracing my stomach like Jake did. All of them are watching what Sam is doing and I start trying to struggle to get away. Stop struggling or this will be longer and more painful. Well, painful to you. Liam says while they all laugh. I start to cry because now I know what they meant. They are going to rape me or do stuff like that. Sam leans down and kisses my tears. Ah, don't cry, love. It could be pleasurable for you too if you would just stop fighting us. I shake my head quickly. But Sam ignores that and starts to undo my pants. I start to struggle again because this cannot happen. Please stop. I say while crying. They all come over and start to touch me. I start to cry more. Time skip because rape is gross, and I am not about to write details, and if you wanted details you can screw off. This isn't for your sexual fantasies. They all left after they were done. I am laying in bed crying. I have never in my life experienced so much pain and embarrassment. I just want to die now. I keep up and walk as best as I could to the bathroom and change into clothes. I look at the mirror and see myself. Though, I don't see myself as me anymore. I look like a broken 16-year-old who has nothing to live for anymore. I start thinking and get an idea. I look at the mirror and punch it as hard as I can. It breaks and I grab one of the broken pieces. I hear all the boys running upstairs but they can't get to me in time because I locked both doors. I hear all of them yelling at me to let them in. I start to laugh to myself. I know they can't get in here because all their keys are in their pants. And guess what? Their pants are on the floor, in this bedroom. The only way they can get in is by breaking down the door. Which I think they are trying to do. So I put the glass to my wrist and cut both sides. Now I just have to bleed out. There's a huge crash, humph, I guess they got one door down. I say to myself again. All the boys are knocking on the door harshly, trying to get in, but it's too late. I start to feel lightheaded. Adios, world. Then blackness. Part 22. I woke up and all I see is white. I stood up and looked around. I couldn't see anything but white. Hello? I called out. I didn't get an answer like I was hoping for. I looked around one more time but still didn't see anything different. I start walking and looking around when I all of a sudden bumped into something. I look up but I didn't bump into something, I bumped into someone. It was my dad. I got up and jumped into his arms, hugging him so tight. Dad, I missed you so much. I'm so sorry that you died because you had to protect me. I love you so much. I say while I start to cry tears of happiness. After 11 years, I finally get to see my dad again. Oh, I missed you too, Pumpkin, and it was not your fault that I died. I chose to protect you, you were just a kid. You shouldn't put my death on you, Pumpkin. I love you so much. He says. Then it hit me, he's dead. How am I seeing him right now? Hey Dad, how am I seeing you right now? I say confused. Well honey, you tried to kill yourself, remember? But you have to go back, it isn't the right time for you. I look at him in disbelief. No Dad, I don't want to go back with those guys. They treated me awfully, they are the whole reason I am here. Don't you want to be with me again? I ask, shaking my head and crying, but of sadness this time. Of course I want to be with you, Pumpkin. I will always want to be with you. But it just isn't your time to die, you have to go back. You can go back right now and escape because now you are in a hospital. You can escape, survive them. For me, and for your mother. I felt so bad, I haven't even thought about my mother losing her daughter too. I nod my head to my dad. All right Dad, I'll go back. That's my girl. He says, smothering my face with kisses. He hugs me one last time before I open my eyes, and this time I see white. But it's different. I'm in a hospital. I look down and see bandages on my wrist. I look up and see a nurse in front of me with her back turned. My dad's voice rings in my ears, you can escape, survive for me and for your mother. I look up and the nurse is now smiling at me. Glad to see you are finally awake, let me go get your boyfriends. The kind nurse said. I am confused. I don't have, oh no, she is talking about the guys. Wait, please don't get them. They kidnapped me and I am not their girlfriends. They all raped me, they tortured me, and they killed my best friend. My name is Lila. I say in one big breath, scared she would get them. She stared at me with wide eyes before going over to the phone. She typed a number, she is calling 911. She explains to them what happened and they are bringing a lot of police and squad teams to capture these 5 guys. After hanging up she came and checked my vitals and stuff, still doing her job. Then I start to think, they would be suspicious that the doctor wouldn't tell them their girlfriend was awake. Hey doc, I think you should go tell the boys I am awake and they can come see me. They would think it is suspicious that you didn't tell them their girlfriend was awake. She thinks for a moment and nods. And make sure to act like you don't know anything. Just that I am a normal patient, okay? I ask. She nods her head again, then heads out the door. Now I just have to wait for the police to show up while I spend my time with these monsters. Soon it will all be over though. Part 23. All the boys barge into the room, making the door slam. Hey Princess, good to see you awake. Jake said, Ugh, I can't wait to see them rotting in jail. Nice to see you, didn't I, love? Sam said while all of them agree. Yeah, well, you make me want to die. I couldn't say that to them, but I wish I could. Hey nurse, how long is it going to take until we can get her out of here? Liam asked. The nurse looked at me, then back at him. Let me go check with the front desk to see how early we can get her out. The nurse said with a smile. I let go of a breath I didn't even know I was holding. As soon as the nurse left, they all looked at me, and they were mad. Why the hell would you try to kill yourself? Jake yelled at me. I just sat there looking at him with a blank expression. Do you really not know, or are you just being stupid? I asked, still looking at him with no emotions. What is it because we gave you a good time, and you couldn't choose between us, so you took the easy way out? Lucas asked with a smirk while they all laughed at what he said. That's it. I took the cord out of my arm, punched him right in the jaw. They all got up and pinned me to the ground while they started punching me. This punch is punch. What slap? You punch. Get kick. For kick. Disrespecting punch. A slap. I crawled up in a ball until all of a sudden the abuse stopped. I looked up and see a squad of police officers on top of the boys and others holding guns at them. I take a breath of relief. Thank God that's over. Are you okay, miss? A police officer asked me. I nod, still trying to catch my breath. Are you all right to answer some questions while the nurse fixes you up? Yes, I am. Finally, these jerks will get what is coming to them. Few weeks later, I am finally back at school and I am loving life. A couple days ago, the judge and jury sentenced all of them to a life worth of prison. Since they didn't just do all that stuff to me, they were doing a lot of other illegal stuff with their mafia business. I was finally able to see my mom after 8 months. Yeah, I was gone for over half a year. But I am glad everything is back to normal now. Me and my mom now go out every weekend and spend as much time with each as possible. Since we didn't get to much, I got kidnapped. And when I got back, we had a memorial for Nina. I wrote a really nice speech for her. May she rest in peace. Now, thanks to those boys, I have nightmare every night because of them, but I go to my therapist for them. Hopefully that will help. Other than that, my life is good and back to normal.